And now, coming to you from the classiest radio station on the air, this is.
Check this out. Are you ready?
About to experience Neon Black Chevelle.
Okay, cut that off. Cut that all the way off. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. And if you're listening to this and you're about to go to bed, and good night. Welcome back. It's good to be back. Today is Thursday, March 12th, 2026. And you're locked in with KWEXL Radio, where we excel. No, not breathing in, breathing out, doing the chicken head and gone, let it out. No, where we excel. I'm saying that's when we ascend. This is where we ascend. This is where we progress. This is where we move forward. I'm your host with the most, from the left coast, the best coast, yes, the west coast, Neon Black Chevelle. And let's hop right into it. So, okay, people, so today's topic is something men and women both talk about constantly, but somehow we still don't seem to fully understand each other when it comes to it. It's very simple, and we're gonna run through this. Alright, stick with me. Dating. Specifically, approaching someone in real life. Because if you ask a lot of guys today, they tell you the same thing. They say, man, I don't even approach anymore. Because I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to feel like a creep. I don't want to, I don't want to come off weird. But if you ask women, you hear something interesting too. They'll say a lot of the time, men never approach anymore. So you have this weird situation where both sides are frustrated, but neither side is sure what the rules are anymore. Think about it. 20 years ago, people met everywhere. We met at the grocery store, at the gym, at work, through a friend, a colleague, at the mall, at a party. People just started conversations. Now everything feels like it moved online. Dating apps, Instagram, DMs, swiping, matching, ghosting, oh gosh, the list goes on. But the question is online dating actually what people want? Or is it just what people ended up doing because real life rules got confusing? Well, today, we're going to break that down. I'm going to talk about whether women actually like being approached, the best situations to approach someone, the worst times to approach someone, why dating apps took over, and why a lot of people secretly hate them. Now, let's start with a big question. Why does approaching someone feel harder, more challenging today than it used to? Well, there's a few reasons, actually. Over the last decade, society started talking a lot more about things like unwanted attention, harassment, personal boundaries, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, like that's great, that is awesome, that is excelling, that is ascending, that is moving forward. That's what KWEXL is all about, right? So that's a good thing. But it also made some guys feel like they might be crossing the line just by saying hello. And that's crazy. But stick with me, check this out. So instead of risking it, they just don't approach at all. Technology replaced natural interactions. Because of this, think about daily life now. People spend a lot of time, or most of their time, on their phones, with headphones in, texting, scrolling on social media. Those little moments where conversations used to happen, they're gone. Poof. Waiting in line at the store, people are on their phones. Waiting at a coffee shop, people are on their phones. Riding public transportation, phones. Phones everywhere, which means fewer organic conversations happen naturally. And because of this, because of the phones, because of technology, the fear of rejection has increased. Now, we all know that rejection has always existed, but social media made it more public and more humiliating. Guys worry about things like being recorded, being laughed at, becoming someone's TikTok story or Instagram reel or YouTube short. So instead of risking embarrassment, they just avoid approaching altogether. Now, here's the interesting part. When surveys are done about dating preferences, a lot of women actually say something surprising. Well, I think it's surprising. They say they prefer meeting someone organically in real life instead of dating apps. Why, you might ask? Because in person, you can immediately tell things like personality, confidence, sense of humor, energy. You know what I'm saying? Like just like the overall vibe. Like we actually, like as humans, we actually pick up on that. None of that shows up well on a dating profile. A picture doesn't show charisma. A bio doesn't show chemistry. But when someone walks up and starts talking, yeah, you instantly get a vibe. Here's where a lot of guys misunderstand things. When women say they like being approached, they don't mean aggressive pickup lines, cheesy pickup lines. I mean, if it makes them laugh, it makes them laugh. However, they're not talking about invading personal space, someone refusing to take a hint. Because sometimes I'm not interested means I'm not interested. Sometimes no means no. And we're not kids anymore, so if she says no, I highly doubt she wants you to pursue her further. And if she does, you might not want to because she's already giving you and showing you poor communication skills, and things are already getting lost in translation, or they already run the risk of getting lost in translation, and you just met her, right? And that can go both ways. That can go to a woman approaching a man as well, right? So stick with me. But what they actually mean when they say they want to be approached or they like being approached, they mean normal conversation, a simple human interaction. Something like, hey, I noticed you were reading that book. Is it good? Or something as simple as, hey, have you tried coffee here before? You see that? Those two examples are simple, relaxed, and low pressure. Now, another big difference is confidence and arrogance. And there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance that a lot of the time gets stepped over. Confidence is attractive, but arrogance, no. Arrogance, not so much. Unless she just likes that type of thing, right? So, what is confidence? Well, confidence is you're relaxed, you're respectful, you handle rejection well. And arrogance is pretty much the opposite of that. Arrogance is you're pushy, you feel entitled, you're aggressive. One creates attraction, the other creates discomfort. Now, I've got something for you. I got something that I need you to take notes on if you have a hard time, because you're saying, well, Chevelle, I have all of that. I'm respectful and I have confidence and, I'm doing well for myself. It's just, I don't know when or where to approach these women. Well, I got you. So stay with me, stick with me, lock in, let's go. So the best situations to approach someone, well, let's talk about where approaching actually works, right? Because environments matter a lot when approaching someone. You have social settings, places designed for social settings. Yes, right? Like bars, lounges, parties, concerts, festivals, group events. In these places, people are already expecting conversations, so walking up and saying hello is normal behavior. Nobody thinks that's weird. And if they do, then get away from that person. Tell them respectfully, oh, my bad. Hey, oh, my bad, never mind. Okay, well, you continue to have a good evening. You know what I mean? So like, just keep it real respectful and get up out of there. Now, those are social environments. Those are specifically designed for social engagement. Next up, we have shared environment settings. These are places similar to social, but they're a little different because these are places where you and the other person already share something, like the gym, a class, a hobby group, sports leagues, volunteer work. And the reason this works so well is because you already have something to talk about. Instead of a random pickup line, you can say something natural like, "Hey, I see you're here a lot. How long have you been coming here?" Now you're just a regular human being having a conversation with another human being. Now, moving on to relaxed environments. Places where people tend to be slower and more relaxed. Coffee shops, bookstores, dog parks, farmers markets, community events. These environments naturally allow conversation. People aren't rushing, they're not stressed, they're just simply existing, which makes starting a conversation feel normal. Now, timing matters just as much as confidence. When someone clearly wants to be left alone, if someone has headphones in, their eyes are glued to whatever screen is taking over their life at the moment, body language closed off, I'm talking folded arms, crossed legs. Now, they might even be reading a book, right? That's usually a signal they're not looking for conversation, let's just be honest. Headphones especially are basically the universal sign for, please let me exist in peace right now. Now, when someone is working, this is important as well. Please pay attention to this, because I swear, when I was single and I used to go out, I would watch people bomb left and right. It's because they thought the person working at that establishment, bartenders, waitresses, cashiers, baristas, that's their job. These people are literally paid to be friendly. That's how they get their tips. So their friendliness is not necessarily flirting. And approaching them puts them in an awkward position because they can't easily leave the conversation. If someone looks like they're running late, moving quickly, focused on a task, that's probably not the moment you want to approach them. Even if they might normally be open to conversation, timing still matters. Say it with me. Timing still matters. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Dating apps. Yeah. Because whether people love them or hate them, they changed everything. Like convenience, for instance. Dating apps allow people to meet others without leaving their home, without leaving their comfort zone. You can match with someone while sitting on the couch, eating dinner, and watching Netflix in those holy sweatpants. That's incredibly convenient. I mean, you don't have to worry about not having any crumbs in your beard to match with someone. Intent clarity. Everyone is on a dating app for roughly the same reason, and that's dating, which removes a lot of the guesswork. You're not wondering, are they single? Are they interested? The app already answers that question. Unless they're a conniving and deceitful piece of, I won't go any further. You have a larger dating pool. You're no longer stuck in your community pool of, friends or people you're normally, or social groups, Dating apps allow you to meet people you would never normally cross paths with. Someone who lives across town, or someone who works in a completely different field. Someone outside your usual social circle, like I touched on previously. But dating apps come with some downsides as well. A lot of people are starting to talk about them too. The swipe culture problem. People become profiles. People become pictures, stats, height, job, bio. It turns dating into something that feels almost like shopping. Swipe left, swipe right. Next person. It almost feels like and sounds like something else, don't it? Anyway, moving on. The illusion of endless options. Oh my goodness, that is a real thing. And that is killing, gapping the bridge between men and women. Dating apps create the feeling that there's always someone better just one swipe away. Each can make people less willing to invest in getting to know someone also. And we all know about the conversation burnout. A lot of people say the same thing about dating apps, right? You match with someone, you start chatting, the conversation dies. Repeat the process 50 times. Eventually, it starts to feel exhausting. Now, at the end of the day, the problem isn't men, and it isn't women. The problem is miscommunication. Men often feel unsure when it's appropriate to approach. Women often feel like men stopped approaching altogether. So both sides end up frustrated. But the reality is actually simple. Most people appreciate kindness, respect, confidence, authenticity. And if someone isn't interested, that's okay. Rejection isn't failure. And I'll say that again. Being rejected, that doesn't mean you failed. It's just part of meeting people. Sometimes the chemistry isn't there. Sometimes the timing isn't right. Sometimes people are already in relationships. And sometimes they're just having a bad day. They're humans. That's life. But the world gets a lot more interesting when people are willing to say something simple like, hey. Again, this is KWEXL Radio, where we excel, and I'm your host with the most, Big Boss, Neon Black Chevelle. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I hope you found this entertaining, and I hope you got something from it. Lock in. Peace.